Hey there folks, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Forgive me for kind of squinting a little bit, but it's really bright outside today. It's been a while since I've posted. The last video that I posted to this channel was the air conditioner video where I purchased a single hose air conditioner and kind of discovered it wasn't really what I should have bought. And I ended up making it work. I just couldn't afford to buy another air conditioner. That one was almost $400. It was just under $400. And the cheapest dual hose that I could find, you're talking $700–800. So it wasn't in the budget for me. I had to work with what I had. And I came up with a fairly good solution of doing that. I'm going to share with you today. Maybe it'll help somebody else out. But mainly, we're reaching the end of summertime, and we're going to be switching into the colder weather, so I'm going to be removing the air conditioner and going back into winter mode with my truck camper setup. And without doing an update for a while, things have changed, and I just wanted to go over the truck today, kind of give a bit of a tour of what I have in the truck now, and follow along with me here, and I'll give you the gist of it. So starting out, we'll look over the outside of the truck, and you can see I've got my Reflectix panels covering all the windows of the truck topper. And you'll notice the white tape. So all of this is white tape. And what I found as the summer rolled on, all this black, this is black metal trim, this is black metal trim, it's all black. I ran out of tape, but it's all just like this. It's aluminum. And in the direct sunlight, this metal trim would get so hot you couldn't keep your hand on it. You know, you touch the white part of the truck and you could keep your hand there, you touch this and instantly you'd have to pull your hand away from it. So that's why I taped all that. The frame, the window frame, it was transferring so much heat into the inside of the truck, and that helped tremendously. But that's a look at the outside of the truck. So we're going to hop inside now and I'll show you the inside. Alright, we're inside now. And this is probably pretty dark, so I'm going to set you guys down over here, and matter of fact, let's go ahead and show you. There's the air conditioner there. I'm going to lean you against the air conditioner. It'll probably be quite loud, so we're going to go ahead and just shut that off for a minute. So I can set you folks down right here where you can get a view on this, and I'll show you how. So I think it'll be too much light if I take this panel out, but I will show you how all of these panels come right out. And I can just pull this down, just take this panel directly out, and I got room in my cab. I could store them all, and then it just pops right back here. So what I'm going to do is take these side pieces out. So here's one of them. Go ahead and pull this one out. They're all Velcroed in, and I'll show you a closer look here in a second. It's the same 1/2-inch thick insulation as the rest of the truck camper is insulated with, but we got carpet on one side, Reflectix on the other, and that foam is nice and thick. It does a really good job of keeping the heat out. So I'll pull these two panels off. And that hopefully will do the trick of being enough light for me to see, or for you to be able to see, I should say. Oh yeah, that's a lot better. And then the other thing that I can do is these side windows. Since they slide open, I don't have foam in those, so they're much easier to just pop those open. I'm gonna leave that one shut for now. So what I'm gonna show you quick pan over everything there on the one side. And then I'll show you just a quick look at this side. Now kind of go through each part and explain what I've got. So you can see from the inside, you can see the rear partition blocking that rear wall. I've talked about that in other videos, but I wanted to create a space where the tailgate can be opened and the drawer that's underneath this bed can be accessed from the tailgate opening, yet this space remains sealed. So that's the purpose of this shelf here. You know, money being tight, I planned on making this all out of wood, but never got around to it yet. That still may hold true in the future, but I'm still very satisfied with using the foam for building because of how easy it is to cut, how cheap it is, easy to make changes if you don't like something. So anybody who's going to try to build a truck camper, I still highly recommend, before you go buy a bunch of plywood, buy a bunch of this foam first. Build cabinets out of the foam, build shelves out of the foam. It's super easy to work with, and you know, you find out if you like something or not. Get the speaker box carpet it, use it for a while. It worked really well for me. So as you can see, I've added a countertop, and that worked out really good. It's just a pre-made counter, like butcher block style countertop that I bought at Lowe's, and then I used like a polyurethane sealant to put on there to make it look shiny like that. It was just raw wood when I bought it. It wasn't very expensive. I think it was like 25 bucks. And then I've got, on this pedestal I built down here, I've got my 12-volt refrigerator here. I've got a sealable dry goods container there. And you see I have an under cabinet light on the bungee cord that holds my air conditioner in. I got an under cabinet light attached to it. You can see there's where my shore power runs into this power strip. The air conditioner, of course. This is just sitting in place. It's not tied down, but it's one of those, you see them everywhere, the little 3-drawer plastic deals. It does great for keeping my clothes. I do have other clothes in the cab, but for what I normally wear, it's plenty of space for me. And then on top, I've got a basket that's got a lot of my personal items I need from day to day, contact stuff, medicines, charge cords, and glasses, things like that I need to grab quickly. I keep there. You can see that I have added on the front window, this cover is removable just like all the others. It pulls right out of that window. But what I did do, I'll pull this back so you can see it, is I added these computer fans, and they're on I got a switch down there to turn them on and off. That allows me to, I can open up that front window and open the side windows. I have those facing outward right now, so if I turn them on, it draws air in the sides and pushes it out the front. I just don't want a hole in my roof, so that's kind of working the same way a roof vent fan would work. I could turn it around where it would force air in and out the side windows, but it's worked best in this configuration I've found. Moving over on this side, I've got a 6-inch thick, very comfortable mattress, and I've got it set up in this orientation for 2 reasons. So the first reason is this being so thick and how tall I am. You see, I just barely fit underneath this roof sitting up straight, and that's with me sitting down here on this lower platform. You know, this would be uncomfortable to sit on completely unpadded, so I've got like a little seating pad that I can sit on, and I use some of my pillows as a backrest. So this actually is a very comfortable seating position when I'm in here. And then if I want a more comfortable position, I'll move these pillows back up against there, and I can actually come and I can sit in this position, lean back against the back of this part of my mattress here is what I mean to say. And then my feet, I can stick down that way. And then underneath the back of this mattress, when I get it in the laid out position, there's more stuff that I have stored underneath this corner. And I'm gonna move my mattress down and I'll show that to you. See how this ends up working with the, hopefully you guys don't fall over, but you may. So I just gotta move this stuff out of the way here real quick. And at nighttime when I would go to bed, this is what I would do. I'll pull this mattress down, lay it out, and there we are. And so now you can see I've got my mattress laid down where I can sleep. Usually put my head at that end because my truck is lower in the front than in the rear a little bit, so you want your head at the uphill side, so that'd be at the rear of the truck. And then you can see down here in this area, I have to get my little light here and pull this under cabinet light out so I can show you everything that's under here. So you can see I've got a Dometic toilet here. I've got some more of my personal items. This is my camping stove. There's the fuel canister for the camping stoves down there. I got some other things. There's a first aid kit, bathroom stuff, and just some more storage underneath there. So that's worked out really well, having some extra storage there on the inside of the camper that I don't normally access. I just keep it down there. So give me 1 second. I'm going to turn you guys off, put my cover back up, and we're going to talk about the solution for the air conditioner and how I've got set up that it's working much better. Okay, for the air conditioner, as I showed in a previous video, they all come with a hose to exhaust the hot air out of the truck. And the problem with that in this small space is that the air that's being exhausted has to be replaced either from outside air leaking in all the cracks and crevices of the camper, or by doing what I've done and creating an air intake that draws air from outside of the camper. So what you can see is underneath this cabinet, this shelf is free floating. The back edge sits on the lip, like what you see here of the camper shell, and about midway of it, you can see I've created a wall here, and that's what these are pushed back against. You can see it there. It runs the whole length of that. So if you can imagine drawing a line right down this cabinet about midway, there is a cavity behind this. You can't see my tire, my wheel well would be right there. And if you remember, if you've seen my other videos, I actually, on top of that wheel well, I've got a diesel heater. So it is in this cavity still. And what you've got is an airspace that runs from here all the way to the back of this air conditioning unit. Let me turn this light back on. I got a little remote here, velcroed on the side of this. So I'll turn that back on so you can see under there a bit better. But you can see I've got this tape taped to the side of this. You can't really make it out, but I've created a box that this is bungee corded into. You can see this countertop runs behind it, and that box is sealing against the back side of that unit, so that when you turn that unit on, it exhausts its air out the hose, out this side of my truck. But the inlet air for the bottom section of this air conditioner is being drawn through this cavity. So now I'm going to turn this air conditioner back on because it's already kind of getting hot in here. It's like 89 degrees outside today. I run that about 70 degrees, and you can see just in the short time that I've been talking to you, we've climbed to 77 degrees inside here. So we're going to turn this back on, and now I'm going to climb back out of the truck. I'm going to show you where that air enters into that cavity. Alright, so here we are. We're back outside the rear of my truck. You can see I've got my tailgate open. And this is the drawer behind this panel that pulls out with all my tools in it. And I just put this cover over it temporarily when I'm not using it, just to further insulate it from wanting to suck air from this area. But this whole back panel is sealed, and like I've talked about before, you can see underneath how it seals against when I close this. That keeps that space separated. So now even though I've got the tailgate open, my space inside is going to stay cool, bug-free. You can see this bit of mesh that I've put right here. I've cut into that cavity that runs underneath of the countertop. Put this mesh here to keep bugs and debris from getting out. And that's actually, I'll put you guys close to it. The microphone may pick up, you can hear it. It's actually drawing air in there. That's what's cooling the bottom of that unit. And if you come along the side of my truck here, you can see I've got these vents cut out here. You can probably hear the air escaping. And I'll set you guys up, you can probably see there's that air wall cut with the vent. And that's where it's blowing. I can feel it's blowing the hot air out this side. So it comes in the back, it travels down there, goes through the air conditioner, comes out this side. And that solution's worked well for me. The cool down cycle that I talked about before when I first got that air conditioner, how it would cool the inside down, but then during its cool down cycle, when it shuts the compressor off, continues to run the fan, I'd lose all my cool air. Well, now it just circulates that cool air around inside there, and it seems to work pretty good. I don't have any complaints about it now. If I were going to do it again, there's a lot of things I'd like to try differently. I think if I was going to rebuild this entire thing and I hadn't spent the money on that air conditioner, I might try a window unit and build the cabinet differently, so the rear of the window unit was in this space behind the tailgate. And I may try that in the future, I don't know, but that's the nice thing about having the foam build, is that I can just take all this out and very easily rebuild it into something else. I can use these pieces of foam for new stuff. It's $13 in my area for a 4x8 sheet of this foam. So I go buy a couple sheets of that, and I could learn quite a bit more about another setup for very cheap. Tape, glue, a few screws. It's not that hard to build with it, but that's an overview of how my truck camper has done for the year. It's worked really good for me. I mean, we've had some really hot weather this summer here in Indiana, and it's stayed cool in the back of my truck. I am tethered to shore power to use the air conditioner. I can't really afford to do a big enough solar and battery bank to sustain it, but it is doable on a roof this size. That air conditioner unit only draws about 1,000 watts, and it's probably 750 on the low setting, just barely over 1,000 on the high setting. And I know plenty of people that have got a window air conditioner in about the 750 watt range, and with a reasonable solar panel array and 400, maybe 600 amp hours of battery, they're able to get 12 hours off the batteries, and the solar that they're using will sustain it during the day. So it's feasible. Later, if I am able to afford it, I could convert this to a solar and battery setup where I wouldn't need to be on the shore power, but it runs off a 15 amp. Everything I have in there, which is the air conditioner, the 12 volt refrigerator, I typically switch over to the 120 volt adapter when I do have shore power, so it's not draining my batteries. And then I have a 5 amp Norco battery charger that's also hooked up in there, and all three of those items running at the same time, and it still won't blow a 15 amp circuit. I'm just plugged into a regular wall outlet that's actually got a GFCI on it, or GFIC, I think it's GFCI, but like the breaker that's in your bathroom, and it never blows that even when they're all three running at the same time. so it's a very low draw setup. I think that's about it to show you. I will show you where the power goes in, I guess. You can see right here under my hitch, there's my power cord hanging down where I plug in my extension cord to. It just runs up through the bottom of my tailgate. There's a pretty large gap when the tailgate's closed, and it just goes right there underneath that cabinet that I showed you I built. And that's the other thing to mention, is that I used to have foam all around here to seal this off, but I've removed all that foam, and that the point of it is that when the tailgate's shut, I need this vent to be able to draw enough air in, and so that's what that gap around my tailgate does, and it works very well. It never seems like it's overheating the air conditioner or anything, and I've had it in very, very hot weather, so I think the gap all around my tailgate is just enough to flow and draw air around the tailgate and into this cavity. So that's about it. That's my setup. I'm going to be switching back, pulling that air conditioner out, leaving this whole setup so that the intake air here will be drawn in for my diesel heater, and it'll blow out. I'll make a cover excuse me, of some kind to seal that exit hole out the side, and then to have the vents for my diesel heater, and that'll be my winter setup, which I'll make another video when I do that. Leave any questions in the comments below if you've got questions about the setup or you want to see details on something else, and I look forward to hearing back from any of you that have questions. Till the next time, thanks.